Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live here at Era Military Collectibles. Jesus, we have a few people in. Kenny Rebel, hello. Army Dude, hello. Kenny Rebel, he's late. Not really. Well, I suppose I am 2 minutes late. Jake Brown, good day. Dave, that fella here yet? I'm here now. I hope he's not forgot. No, I haven't forgot. I'm here. Hello, chat. Target Kenny open fire. Please don't try and zap Kenny before we've even started. So how have we all been? I hope you're all keeping well. He's just in the levy. I'm not actually. I was getting a beverage. There are other beverages out there. This one is Oasis. But yeah, so there we are. Stan, hello. How are you? Kenny, Stan, Gary, hello. Dave, how are you? So how is everyone keeping this evening? Been a busy week. Good here, mate. Hope you are too. I'm fine. I am very, very good. Busy week collecting. I managed to get myself a reproduction SAS Smock 1941 that I'm waiting on, and I also managed to get myself 2 items from Op Banner that people will be really, really interested in seeing. Thanks to Gary Hall, who's there floating around somewhere. So that stuff is coming up in the videos and stuff, and that's where I have been in collecting. What else have I been doing? I've been doing video projects. If you can see behind me over here, there we go. I've been doing a bit of a kit bash. So we have, look, as you can see, that's my name. This is a very unusual jacket. You don't really see many of them for sale around the place. This is actually mine. But yeah, that's coming up on a video. And I've been doing a bit of kit bashing. As you can see here, we have Gulf War 1. The shirt is coming up on a video on its own because it's interesting. Then I stuck this on it, and I have a Mark 6A helmet, technically not correct, of what the stand sent me. So I was just doing a bit of a kit bash today to see how far I could get into a Gulf War 1 impression mannequin type thing. So yeah, so I suppose I could put my Irish Army weapon on him, although I think I had DPM weapon, but I do have a battle vest from Northern Ireland. That could go on him, technically. They literally had everything and anything they could get their hands on. They weren't expecting to be in the Gulf. So I've just been doing that, pretty much. Just catch up on some of these. Fine, drinking, cocktails. No, I'm not drinking cocktails. God kills. Good kills on the smock. Yeah. It's a reproduction, but yeah, I picked it up for peanuts. So evening, Andrew, Gary, you're more than welcome. Thanks, mate. Hey, Stan. I have a DDMP one of those vests. One of these Desert DPM. That's actually a Northern Ireland one. Well, one that you would have seen in Northern Ireland in the middle 80s, late 80s, up until the 90s, actually, up until the ceasefire, you would have seen those. So I dug that out. It does have its armor in it, bar the ballistic plates. So yeah, and then this is coming up on a video. All of you can tell that is Paddy Flash. So yeah, so there you go. Find that you can put more kit than in PLC webbing. I find that you can put more kit than in PLC webbing. You can. I actually preferred. I had one of the trials battle vests, and I actually preferred the battle vest with a DaySac, because you could get everything and anything you wanted. No, the trials battle vest I had was very, very good. But saying that again, depending on what I was doing, I used to still wear them with PLC. If I was doing long hiking and yumping and stuff like that, I would actually wear my PLC. If we were doing recce type stuff, if it was for the simple fact that it was easier to wear a backpack with the PLC, If we were doing like short fibia, or if I wasn't going to be out on that ground that long, if I wasn't out on the ground that long, I would I'd wear my battle vest because it was just easier. It was especially when we were working with vehicles and stuff. The battle vest was a lot easier. OD Green PLC would be correct for Grenby. Yeah, I probably I could use my Irish Army one, I suppose, but we'll wait and see. I would literally just bored them today, so I said fuck it. I was going to kit bash it and see what happens. I find you can put more kit in OpsFest than in PLC webbing. Definitely, you can fit more ammunition and stuff and things like that in a battle vest. But for sneaky beaky stuff, PLC webbing is perfect because you can fit 24-hour rations, you can fit rain gear in it, you can fit enough ammunition that you need. Yeah, so it depends on what you're doing, really. Where are you getting post from in the UK, John? I'm not actually. Well, I am, I suppose. I'm not collecting the smock until I go to the Living History UK Festival. There's one of the guys bringing it there for me, and I will be. Well, we haven't talked about it really yet. The other stuff is in the north, so whether I drive up and get it or whether he ships it down, I don't know. We just haven't discussed it yet. We'll wait and see. Back in World War II, the US Army MPs were called snowdrops. RAF military police are called snowdrops because of their white caps. I didn't know the Americans were called snowdrops, but I know the RAF military police were called snowdrops. Is that patty flash? It's paddy flash, not patty flash. It looks very French. No, it's not. It's actually Irish. The reason it looks like that, if I move it closer to the camera, there you go. It's actually petty flesh. It's just the way the light is shining on it. Because of their white helmets. Okay, I posted stuff to you 2 weeks ago. I haven't got it yet. I still haven't got it yet. I don't know what's going on. Is it true that the IDF will transition to multicam soon, at some point? So yes, it will. Unfortunately, it is. They are trialing it at the minute. There's 3 or 4 different different stuff that's been trialed at the minute. The Rangers have a one. There's another one that even it looks it's actually these colours. It's actually them colours, but in digital or multicam or whatever you want, that type of pattern. There's a Spanish, what looks like a Spanish type one. There's a few in trial, but it won't be for the next 4 or 5 years though. The petty flash will start being phased out, which is a bit stupid because the Navy is only after getting a grey version of the petty flash for their ships, and they only got it last year, the year before. So yeah, so it's a bit silly. Yesterday I watched The Eagle Has Landed from 1976, and Michael Caine was Colonel Stroud. Good movie. It is a good movie actually. Very good movie. Some incorrect things with Kit in it, but yeah, it is a very, very good movie. I have some books you would like. Polish military items in English and Russian. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dave, definitely. Give me a message and we'll talk business. To me, Irish GPM looks like US M81 Woodland Camo. No, it's not. It's completely different. It is completely different. See the two of them together, they look nothing alike. The light then, sorry, I have taken a class. No, it's no problem, Dave. Posting things to Ireland is difficult, John. You must remember before it has time travel back 100 years. Yeah. Well, like Andy was trying to send me something, and there's another guy he was trying to send me something, and they went into the post offices, and the next thing they said, "Oh, there's been a whatever computer picture hacking, so we're not sending anything international at the minute." So yeah, so that went pear shape. I sent a Christmas box to Danny in December that he still hasn't got yet, and I got an email today off of the Royal Mail to say that they found it in a sorting office in Sheffield or someplace, and they'll get it to him within the next week or two. So it's a bit crazy. Um, um, Good evening from Sweden. A bit late, but I'm here. No problem. IMRT. No problem at all. Great paddy flash. Yeah, you should look it up. It's cool. The Irish Navy's camouflage. Their new camouflage. It's fairly cool. It looks cool. What is the biggest Army Navy store in Ireland? Whoa. See, we don't have your typical Army Navy stores here. We have they've sort of all amalgamated now. So you have a bit of surplus, a bit of camping, a bit of fishing, and a bit of hunting. All in the one shop. You don't really have your specific old Army stores. The nearest one to me would be about 2 hours drive. Actually, sorry, I take that back. There's one about 40 minutes drive, but it's very small. And the nearest big one would be about 2 hours drive, I suppose. More similar to the French. It is actually more similar to the French, yeah. Jake, you're laughing. Well, I mean, I can't help it. Jake is an individual. But yeah, no, it's actually 150 years, Jake. He was descendant here. Shots fired. Do you have British Army M76 para helmet? I should have. There you go. It's actually a reproduction, but it's a very, very good reproduction. Then we have the later version, which was Falklands all the way up until... Now this one has been customed, whereas your man has actually put a clip on it. But yeah, so this will be middle... that's that one. Which actually, believe it or not, has a 68 pattern hood that has been used as the helmet cover. So there you go. Yeah. There you go. And what other para one I buy? And this one, which is another reproduction, because you will not find an original, and I've only ever seen one original. And that is the Para Riot helmet, which actually fits me like a glove. I might bring this to... the History UK Festival. Oh, we'll wait and see. I do need to change the chin strap. The chin strap is a bit gammy on it, but we'll easy pick up one of them. Oh, where's this one? This one is pre-made for my head, so I don't have to adjust it. Oh, there you go. So yeah. And that, I can understand why the paras, if they could get their hands on it, they would get one of these, which is the armoured helmet. For the simple reason, there was only one chin strap needed for it, rather than wrestling with their other ones. But obviously, they would use these only on like the likes of Northern Ireland and stuff like that when they weren't jumping. They would revert to their other helmets if they were jumping. I'm taking up. We go back through all the questions. I'm still looking for a new Garrison cap. I lost it in 1942 during the training for my Dirty Dozen film. I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. Where Eagles there, Mothership Camo is contemptible in itself. The Eagles' nest skulls were actually next. Yeah, there's a nice, interesting bit of history there off of Dave. Christmas box. Well, I see those special alone time favors I offered don't pay off. That helmet is from Eagle Has Landed movie. No, not quite. Handy if COVID comes back. It will be handy if COVID comes back. You can just put it back over yourself. The Camonet Scrim catches fire during the bayonet assault course. Better use Hessian. Yeah, exactly. I do actually have some sandbags up there. I need to cut up and chop up and do stuff with them. Let COVID away. I hate it. Yeah, exactly. Be a pain in the bum if it ever comes back. Never mind, the Eagle has landed. What about Jim Timber has landed? Where is he? I have no idea. Oh, there he is. Speak of a NASA insured pass. Hey, Alan Partridge. Hey, rare laser spotted Timber. Jim has entered the building. Warfren is the castle in Eagles. Where Eagles there? I don't know much about it. Do the IDF issue patrol caps in Paddyflage? I have a big collection, including lots of Paddyflage, but I have never seen a patrol cap. When you mean a patrol cap now, are you talking about a bush hat? Because they do issue bush hats. They do issue bush hats, yeah. If that's what you're talking about, patrol cap. So the caps you will get in the army is your beret. Sorry, they changed it now. Before we always had a beret in training, but now you don't. You have to earn it. So you get a bush hat until you do a certain amount of tests in recruit training. Then you get your beret, and then you have like a winter cap, which is I very very rarely seen guys wearing them, but there is a winter cap there, which is like a rainproof one, which is like it's like the British storm hats that you'll see with the bit that flops up here. During the Falklands, they do have them, and then you have a peak cap for parades with a cap badge in the middle of it. They're the only three headdresses that the army have. The cavalry guys, all right, have what they call a Glengarry with two big long tails off of the back of it. Depending on what cav, the first cav doesn't have the red patch behind their badge. All the other cavalry regiments do. The military police have a red, obviously a red beret. Rangers have their own specific beret. That's it, really. Everyone else wears the same black beret. Excuse me, with the red square behind it. But so cavalry have their own, the military police have their own, and everyone else then has the black one. Except for the Rangers, they have a bottle green one. And the reason they have a bottle green one is because when they were setting up the Rangers, they sent a group to do the commando course. And when they passed the commando course, then they sent them off to America, and they did Ranger School, and they did the Green Beret selection course. And when they had all that completed, they came back then and they basically set up their own selection course and their own trial training and stuff like that, and took aspects of training from other people, including the SAS. And because they did the commando course and they did the Green Beret selection, they decided to keep their berets green. So that's how you will see. That's why you see the green beret on the Rangers. And I'm not sure why they have the green flashing behind their cap edge, but they do. But their actual beret itself is pretty much the same color as the Royal Marine Commandos and the American Green Berets. Hey Stan, Andrew, I was trying to get my computer working. Crap hat. You do see them wearing. You can get baseball caps, but they're a private purchase. They're not issued. I once played Pango Vela. 2 Oscars. I've seen Irish soldiers wearing cap in Irish GPM. I'm not sure what type of cap you mean, but if you're talking about baseball caps, yes, they do have them. They can be got, but they're private purchase. They're not an issue item. Good films, you were head shaved for the part. and turtle waxed tie polish. Leeds Military Fair is on Sunday, an hour from me, and the missus has told me no, bugger. Well, just go anyway then. On my IQS Army jacket, I have the ribbons of the Silver Star, Bronze Star, and Purple Heart of ribbon. Also, I still searching yeah. I don't agree with in reenacting. I don't agree with wearing. Okay, certain types of medals I don't mind wearing if guys are portraying that they were. Uh, excuse me. If they were portraying that they were an old contemptible and they had the sort of the World War One medals, if they were home guard and stuff like that, I understand that. But I don't like guys wearing Victoria Cross ribbons, Silver Star ribbons, DSM or military medals, nothing like that. I don't like bravery awards being worn. Um, but campaign medals and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with. Just the other, just oh, excuse me. Oh, I have COVID. No, I don't. I don't believe in people wearing bravery awards, but campaign medals I don't have a problem with. What we do in Living History UK, those of us that have served, we wear ribbons, World War II ribbons, for the equivalent of where we have actually served. So I wear an Africa Star because I served in the Middle East, and I wear. I can't remember what the other one is. I wear, Palestine, because I served in Lebanon. Um, so they're the only ribbons that I wear. A reenacting costume or uniform, whatever you want to call it. No West End. Steel Helmet Stand is the interesting medals wise. I am at Chiltern Dockyards on Sunday. Chatham Dockyards, okay, so mostly being British Home Guard at it. Oh, very cool. I need to get some bits and bobs actually. I need to get back working, cracking back onto my SAS Falkland stuff, but I'm waiting on stuff from Soldier Fortune still hasn't arrived. Yeah, it's the bigger of the two in my area. Mixture of all sorts: DX helmets, swords, and medals. I actually love your collection, Stan. Um, I love the way you have it. I love the way you have your shed set up. I love the way you have the attic set up, or the OP, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a very very interesting collection. David, my best movie in my opinion was Kelly's Heroes. I had a good fight with Mr. Eastwood. Are you learning to on an open door with me? Are you leaning on an open door with me? I'm not sure what you mean, Dave. Irish and Dutch DPM are really superb versions on the team. Probably my favourite. It's truth be told, yeah, the Irish DPM. I really love the Irish DPM. It's unusual. It's not there. I do like the Norwegian and the Swedish stuff as well, though. But yeah, I do really like the Irish stuff. Um, what is the price of an original M41 US field jacket? Depends whether it's got patches on it. Depends whether it's got its condition. I suppose anything from $100 to uh, 50, 60 quid. It depends. It's like people asking me the price of, I don't know, price of that jacket. It's what people pay for it. It really is. If people want it, they'll pay for it. Bless you. Thank you very much, Jack. Cool. Army dude. Belispa hat. I have seen in Irish. I'm not 100% sure which one you're talking about. He blew that out of his ear. I did blow it out of my ears. I actually popped one of my ears. I just wear my own medal ribbons, pisses. Yeah, exactly. I have no problem with guys if they've served wearing their own ribbons. Um, it is what it is. They're entitled to wear them. Um, I just don't agree with people wearing medals that for valor and stuff like that. I just don't agree with it. Because of World War Two dust. You're sneezing. I don't know what it is. Why I got it in dust. Sneezes there. Irish DAPM looks like the French Camo CCE or whatever it's called. It bless you, by the way. It does actually look like it. Like that looks French there now. But if I take it out of the light, you can actually see it's completely different. Um, the French stuff does get sold on eBay and stuff like that as Irish DPM when it's not. If you know what you're looking for, it's not. Look for this. Oh, look here and look for the marks because not this one. This is obviously my name, but this one, all smocks and shirts and jackets in the Irish Army from the very very start. Sorry, from the probably the second issue were all issued with either Old Glucknahairn or Defence Forces of Ireland, Irish Defence Forces on this side, the left hand side. Um, so if you see a French jacket, or if you think it's a French jacket or whatever, and if it doesn't have this or it doesn't have a trace of a ghost print of this patch, it's not original. I just swear technical patches correct to my trade. But that's it. That's perfect. I don't agree with that. I don't disagree with that as well. Like obviously, if you're portraying a certain regiment or a certain like we do for Living History UK, we're the first SAS, specifically around North Europe. We don't do African stuff. We probably might branch out and do stuff like that, but we'll do middle of the war, just after D-Day, North Europe. Um, on our battle dresses, we literally have first SAS. We have para wings. Some of us have rank markings, depending on who we are or what you are. But that's it. Like you see guys at shows and they have snipers patches, scout patches, farrier patches, drummer patches, everything. The German reenactors really like they have a chest full of bronze, bronze wound patch, assault patch, anti-aircraft button. Like they have literally badges everywhere. Their whole pockets full of badges, and none of them make sense. But look, each their own. Okay. Um, Yeah, that is disrespectful. It's done wrong. It's not that it is disrespectful. It's just it's different for getting a campaign medal. A campaign medal is you meet a certain criteria, like 90 days in country or whatever it is to get that campaign medal. Um, bravery awards, injury awards, stuff like that. Purple Heart, Silver Star, Bronze Star in the Americans. Um, DSM or military medal or order of whatever in the British Army mentioned in dispatches, those medals are earned uh, the hard way. So I just don't think that they should be worn, if you get me. Um, my buddy Oddball is still alive, is he? I don't know. Thanks, John. It's a work in progress. Oh yeah, your collection. I do like your collection. It's really interesting. Um, Whenever you're doing videos, actually, I'm listening to you, but I'm also looking in the background, going, "Geez, I must tell Stan I want to see that." But yeah, like you like your Guinness beer mat the other day, actually. Um, but yeah, I do really like what you're doing, what you do. Um, Stan doesn't know it yet, but I'm on my way to stay in his shed, have a hammock, and can travel. Very good, Jim. Very very good. Is German is German calf bound collectible? Oh, that is a good question. I don't collect German stuff. Stan or Jim or somebody might be able to answer that, but I don't really collect German stuff. Yeah, Bloody hell, I've just seen you parachute into the garden. I wear a medal for action in Umbota Garage where the Pinwheels attacked our position with a dangerous of sharpened fruit. Yeah, yeah. Like, I know guys that wear medals upside down and wear them backwards. It pisses off the um the realists, I suppose, or the true people. Whereas if they just do it out of, they didn't earn them, so but I need to wear them for um whatever I'm portraying, but I'm not going to wear them correctly. So yeah, so there you go. I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday, the day before. He's a guy, and he's actually doing Dead's Army. He's doing videos about Dead's Army, the characters in Dead's Army and stuff like that. So he's done Jones, he's done Godfrey, and he's done We're Doomed. What's his name? Oh, the Scottish lad. We're Doomed. He's done him anyway, but he's done their backstories and the character stories. And Jones is like from watching the series and stuff like that. You get snippets of information out of Jones, and you get snippets of information out of Godfrey and stuff like that. But Godfrey's character is actually really wrote about Godfrey. Godfrey was a conscientious objector, but he did volunteer to serve as a stretcher bearer, was wounded going over no man's land, and did earn the military medal. So there you go. So, but all Jones's ribbons for his character match up to different aspects of the story and information that he gives you throughout the series. Jesus, what's his name? We're Doomed. Godfrey. No, we have Godfrey Jones, Pike. What was his friggin' name? I can't think of his name. It'll pop into my head now in a minute. Probably didn't open search the local haystacks or the hairdresser's backyard. With a ball. Steelhammer found was a German veterans organization. I don't know that around. Did the SS wear black uniforms back in 1943? They did not wear black uniforms in 1943. Their parade uniform was a black uniform, yes, but they didn't generally wear the black one. They wore their own version of the grey uniform, but the black one was a parade uniform. Yes, you are correct, but I don't know if they wore it in 43. How many variations of waterproof MVP parkas are used by the IDF? I have two versions made Syntex, and they're slightly different. Right, so the earlier versions of the windproof smocks or the everyday smocks had a button pocket that all four were button pocket you'd open at the top, right? After that, then they got rid of the top pockets, but they kept the buttons, and there was zips at the side, if I remember correctly. The original ones then had what we called a pile plate. It was a piece of foam that was on the back of the smock. It was called a pile plate. You could button that in and button it out. There was two makers, if I remember correctly. You had Syntex and you had Port West, were the two manufacturers. But the newer ones now obviously have this, but the pockets are different. The older pockets, you had to go in from the top, and the newer pockets you can go in from the side. And some guys actually tailor the tops of them so you have a zip on the top that they can put a zip on the top. They'd open the button, put a zip on the top or a zip on the side. And it was easier for body armor. And I know guys actually, because of the body armor on their vests, they actually put zips on this side that they could get into them from this side with their vests on. But yeah, so there are two main versions. Army dude deleted a message. Army trousers back look like British 68 pattern. They're actually Soldier 95. Would be the best comparison to the Irish DPM pants. They're pretty much the same as Soldier 95. Yeah. They have ripstop and stuff like that on Amazon. Yes, Dex searched. I do hope the hairdresser's rear entrance is intact. Will you two stop it? Look, like that guy in Bad Boys, I'll show you wedges. I'll blow you in, and blow you. Um, Shalom. May your camels give you good cheese. Hello, Regimental Hereford Regimental Museum, aka Danny Reese. I hope you're keeping well, Danny. I know you're at cadets tonight, so have fun and try not to kill them. I have so many German uniforms now. I click my heels each time I brush my hair. That could be dangerous. Um, Jim, how far are you? Because I know you're not far. I know you're around that neck of the woods, but how far are you from where Stella was it 13 was, where the Great Escape was? But yeah, I'd love to go see it. Fraser, that's the guy. Fraser. Thank you very much, Kenny. Thank you very much. The whole living history versus reenactor versus collector situation is interesting. Me personally, I just try to recreate a provisional museum like a 70s one. Just need to be under one of. It is interesting. It's interesting in the fact that reenactors, living historians, whatever, right? I really, really enjoy it because I step away from the bullshit without being too political about it. If somebody comes up and if somebody tells me, John, look, that's not 100%, you need to change this, tweak this, or whatever, perfect. That's what I want because I don't know everything. Not everyone knows everyone. But when you have guys going, guys dressing like this, right? So they have this on, right? They have a smock on, and they're carrying a rifle, and you're going, what the hell are you doing? I go, oh, I'm a Royal Marine Commando. Why are you a Royal Marine Commando wearing your whites? You wouldn't wear your whites. Well, I'm a Royal Marine Commando. I can do what I want. So that's the type of thing that really annoys me, and I think it's funny when I see it. But sure, I just step away from it and laugh. Hammerstein, I have bought my own bottle of Paradox. Hey, Danny. Hello, Jake. I can imagine you like the milk tray man, bottle of Tulski in one hand and a pie in the other, abseiling out of the woods. He was in the army that long and got Lance Corporal. Got to Lance Corporal. Jones actually got busted, believe it or not. It's in his story. He reached the rank of Colour Sergeant, I think, according to your man, but got busted back to Lance Corporal. So there you go. General SS wore Waffen Ruin blokes wore grey. I think some of the auxiliaries on the Eastern Front wore the no longer required black ZZ uniform or the Mushmash Army ZZU. Because the top with the tracksuit baggy bot camo, surely. The tank, the Panzers wore black, if I remember, did they? Silverstone, haha, and Metal Mobe Lady Loves. It's mainly Panzer crews they think wore black. SS and Vulture Saigon. The Great Escape took place in Sangin, now Zugun in Poland, about 95 kilometers from me, or an hour and a half in the car. Well, my car. Probably quicker on a bicycle. Yeah, I'd love to go see it actually, because I actually watched a documentary a couple of months back now, I suppose. It was like a time tape thing. There were archaeologists. They were trying to find Tom, Dick, and Harry, the actual the tunnels. I think they found them. They could still find the outlines of where the huts were, and through plans and stuff, they actually figured out which one was the start of Harry and was it Tom? Yeah, Tom, Dick, and Harry was the name of the trenches, if I remember, the tunnels. I know a few ex-RMs who would probably buy an ice cream and turn a reenactor like that into an angry unicorn. Yeah. Um, Panzers were black. Stug crews were grey. So there you go. So it was. Sorry, my phone is just lighting up here. Let me see what's going on. But talk amongst yourselves there now, kids. Um, I just read the book about the escape. Sorry, missed one. Have I? The camp guards wore pink. No, they didn't wear pink. Some of them wore pink triangles, but not the camp guards. I've just read a book about the escape, courtesy of Sir Jim Timber. Oh, cool. Um, I did. Oh, I got one in my library. I don't. I thought I had one. Um, you reenacted Italiano. You can eat gelato all day. Oh, okay. It's an idea actually for the summer. What personal kit has Ireland sent to Ukraine? Don't know. We have taken in a lot of refugees, but what actual kit they have sent them, I don't know. And I can't speculate on that. And I don't really talk about politics on this channel, but I don't really know what they've sent them. There was also a tunnel called George from the camp theatre to be used in case of unrest. The prisoners thought they might be slaughtered towards the end of the war after Saigon. Actually, yeah, that's true. I never heard that. Chinese Fitty in his naughty book. True Jim Timber. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I know in some of the in Colditz, they were going to basically armed themselves that they were going to try and take over the camp if the SS tried to take it over, because they actually got on with their commandant, um, and he went to the officer in charge, if I remember correctly. He went to the officer in charge of the prisoners and said, "Look, if it looks like that the camp is to be overrun, we're supposed to give it to the SS." And he knew, and the prisoners knew, that if they were given to the SS, it was a death sentence. So, as far as I remember, they had worked out some type of a deal that they were going to take over the prison. And if I do remember correctly, towards the end of the war in Colditz, the soldiers were actually unarmed. It still looked like that they were guarding, but they weren't. It was an open prison. The prisoners could do what they wanted, but the guards still looked like that. The guards were actually prisoners of the prisoners. If you get me, they had surrendered to the prisoners, but they were still keeping up the appearance that they were working the prison for in case the SS tried to take it over and stuff like that. So there you go. Angry Unicorn is a game where you stick an ice cream or stick pillar on someone's head and run. I must try that actually. I must try that now at the next event. Fun fact about tanks in Germany in the 1990s, the lads from 2RTR were rumbled into wear uniforms into Fallenberg's black uniforms with white rank badges. Set the old German boys off for some reason. I wonder why. But the German, the I know the Queens or the Hussars that are still there, that are a tank regiment. Their beret is actually a brown. Um, for that reason, that if they're in the tank and stuff and grease gets on it, it doesn't get dirty. And the tank corps, I believe, is the same reason that they wear black overalls. For if they get dirty working in the tanks. That it doesn't show up and it's just easier. There you go. weren't the Americans about to shoot colditz until the prisoners started waving white bed sheets out the windows. No, they actually hung they spelled POW. They spelled POW, I think, on the roof and I think on the ground so the planes could see it. And they started waving. They stuck white crosses out of every window that they could, or white flags out of every window they could find. But yes, you are correct. The Americans, because Colditz, I've never physically seen it, but I've studied it. Colditz is actually overlooking a village. It's overlooking the town, Colditz. So the Americans thought, yeah, it's a perfect place for an artillery position on the hill in a castle, and they were going to bomb the bejesus out of it until they seen all this. Until they seen that it was actually a POW camp. But when they actually first went to the POW camp, they were expecting a fight. They didn't expect the prison guards just to hand over their prisoners. The tankers like to wear Bundy jackboots in the 80s fashion thing. That would have been interesting with their black overalls and black berets and white rank markings. Footwear third cocktail. Brilliant Sagan escape book by Walter, what's it called? Flack and Ferrets. He escaped by dressing as a woman. Even Monty Python couldn't dream it up. There was some very good escapes actually. There's one that I'm actually reading at the minute I have it lined up to read, but I haven't read it yet. Is Daniel Lewis's book SAS Great Escapes, because there was some of those guys did absolute mental stuff during the Second World War. One guy pretty much I get tired. Walked 200 or 300 miles across freaking North Africa. Two other guys I know from Sabu 70. Two of them from Paris made it back as far as Allied lines. One fella stayed on and joined the resistance. Two other guys joined the resistance, and then later a Frenchman and a Yorkshireman, I think he was. Ginger Jones, and I can't think of the other fella's name. Frenchman. But they joined the resistance and actually were taken prisoner. If any of you don't know the story of Sabu 70, look it up, read it. It's very, very good. Brothers and Band of Brothers, Daniel Lewis's Band of Brothers, I think it's called, is the one that covers Sabu 70. But look up Sabu 70. It's a very, very heartwarming, heart-wrenching read. Basically, SAS patrol, 12-man patrol, believe it or not, 6 of them were Irish, including the commander. Were jumped into just outside Paris to commence an operation of basically causing sheer mayhem to the Germans. Now, I don't actually think it said it in the book how they were portrayed or how they were caught, but they didn't know that there was paratroopers coming in, but there were radio games was going on. If any of you know what radio games is, it was a covert operation that the Germans were doing, that they had cracked SOE's radios and they had turned and flipped some of the SOE operators so that they were getting information and stuff like that. So Sabu 70 jumped and pretty much 12 of them are 7 of them were captured. 3 escaped and the remainder were killed at the initial onset of the ambush where they were captured. Then, without getting too much into it, 7 of them were taken prisoner. 3 got away, and the rest were casualties out of 12. The 7 that were taken prisoner were obviously tortured, questioned, and were, because of the commando order, were being sentenced to death. Out of that sentence to death, 2 of them managed to escape. And those two managed to get back to the UK and told the story of what was after happening to Sabu 70, and were involved in the war crimes and stuff like that. And then you had the SAS specific Nazi hunters that went into Germany after the war to collect Nazis, which was a very, very good one. So read all those, read all that information. It is a very, very good read. Brothers in Arms, I think it's called. Damien Lewis basically is the author. He did it. He wrote the books. He's a very, very good SAS historian, and he's wrote a lot of SAS books. But yeah, Sabu 70. Look up Sabu 70 and read about Sabu 70. Very, very good. Sorry, I went off on a rampage there. Let me see what I've missed. Brilliant second escape book. Oh, sorry, I read that one. Pretty warmer too in tanks. It is warm in a tank actually. The British tanks have a tea bloody machine in them, so I mean it can't be that bad. I had a good book about the Goldfish Club. WW2 RAF escapes. Don't they have a club? The RAF have a club. If you've used the ejector seats, it's a special. Whoever manufactures the clubs, I think they get a tie. If you eject in one of these ejector seats, you get a tie and you become part of the club, and I think you get a pin and stuff like that as well. So they have. I think the RAF have that club as well. If Danny's still listening, he might be able to tell me if that's fact, because Danny used to serve in the RAF. The classic original escape book is the existing story of 29 British officers imprisoned by the Germans during World War One in the Hosmans prisoner of war camp. I don't know that one actually. Let's look that one up, Jim. Hey Jim, I've read that book, I'm sure, but I gave it away after I read it. I don't think I read it. Kenny Rebel. It certainly got warm in tanks when they got an 88mm up the tailpipe. I was watching Fury today. The bravery those boys had was in yeah, I like tank is fairly. No, I wouldn't like to be in a tank. Thank you very much. I'm reading a cracking book at the minute called Year Zero about the end of initial peace in 1945, and went on. The author is Ian Brown. Let's look up that one actually. I'm reading a fantastic book called Digging Sports and Where to Find Them. Oh, Jake, I'm going to get you. Because I just reread what that said, and I'll kill you. My dog Jim. Poonhound. So there we go. So guys, Jesus, where's the hour gone? I've been on for 53 minutes. So if any of you want to ask me a few questions, you're more than welcome, and we'll get over. Martin Baker Ejection Toy Club. There we go. I knew they had some type of a club that if you went ejecting out of a plane at Mach 6, you probably wouldn't survive if you went out at Mach 6. But yeah, there we go. World War II escape stories are worth checking out. I must look them up actually. I don't really know much about World War One stories. I know about battles like the Battle of the Somme and Ypres and Passchendaele and Cambrai and all that type of stuff, but actual individual stories. Actually, I take it back. I did read one called Mud in the Somme or Mud Blood in the Somme or something. It was all Australians. About the Australians, and specifically one Australian for the whole of the First World War. The Mud and the Blood, I think it was called. Very, very good book, actually. Very, very good book. But that's about the only First World War individual story that I've read. Which is a shame, actually, because I just haven't read a story about the First World War. I'm paradoxing my hair, Stanmate, and getting ready to escape. The Escape Club. So there you go. Right, guys, so it is 5 5 minutes. 5 minutes and counting. I'm going to have a photo through her letterbox for you. I was using. I'm not going to read those comments because I get banned off YouTube. Mr. Steel Helmet Stan and Mr. Jim Timber. Right, guys. So, if you don't have any more questions for me or comments, that's it. There will be some. So, that's it for me. If you don't, or if you want to contact the channel, as always, there's an email at the top of my video descriptions. As always, guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a safe weekend. There will be some videos coming up this weekend, so please stay tuned. I hope you enjoy them. And have a good weekend, guys, and stay safe. Stay away from COVID and all that type of stuff. And I will see you next Friday, same time, same place, the usual. Enjoy, and I'll see you all again.